All right, hey, Charlie from Comstock Motorsports here. Episode 2 of the Scamp build. It did not go as planned. I'll give you the punchline right off the bat. We failed miserably. The plan was to have the engine and transmission in the car. As you can see, the engine is right next to me, so totally missed that goal. We made some progress, but not enough. Some major problems. First thing we did was we removed the electrical. First thing we have to do is take the wire harness and everything off so that we can lift just the engine and transmission out and get it onto the cradle. To do this, again, we're just trying to get what came off of here back on, not necessarily a big description of what needs to go back on. So what I did was I went to CVS, picked up a bunch of colored rubber bands. We'll put the same color rubber band on the plug as well as on the receptacle, and that should allow us to figure out where everything goes once we put the wiring harness back on the engine once it's in the car. So here we go. Once we removed the electrical, we moved into the engine to try and get it prepped to be put into the car. I'll let Charlie explain that part of it. What we're doing?
We're replacing the oil pan and the pickup tube.
What else are we doing?
We're gonna put the engine in the car, and after we replace all of this stuff. Replace the motor mounts too.
So they fit in the car?
Yeah.
Awesome. Almost there. Once the engine was ready, we turned our attention to the car, pulled down the steering box and all the steering linkages, and tried to put the engine in. Alright, steering's all unbolted. Let's see if we can get it down. You think? Without killing me?
I don't want to kill you, so you need a hand. Oh, that looks heavy.
It is heavy. mounts that came with the kit, they look like they're going to put the engine right where it needs to be, but they came with no hardware. So the bolts that came with the engine, with the original motor mount, too long. We had to use a bunch of spacers, whatever we had in the shop, just to get them to a mock-up stage. We're going to have to replace those fasteners as we go. The oil pump pickup tube, that did not go as well. Basically, the way the flange is clocked on the pickup tube, it'll put the pickup outside of the oil pan. No good. So that has to be returned or fixed. The oil pan fit. That was the one thing that went okay. No dipstick provision though, so we can't check the oil level ever. Next thing that happened, we actually tried to put the engine in the car. Once we started putting the engine in the car, we found a whole bunch of other problems. First, the driver's side manifold would not clear the steering shaft. That had to go. Next, the driver's side rear coil pack would not clear the master cylinder, so that had to go. Once we finally got the engine close to being in place, the firewall got in the way. Well, we cut that. That wasn't such a big deal. Once we cleared all those interferences, the motor was looking good. We were about a 1/4 inch from being home. The passenger side exhaust manifold hit. And when that hit, there was a big problem, because 2 of the bolts wouldn't come out. So we got to remove those bolts, get everything buttoned up. We're finally going to get the engine in, get the transmission in. We're finally going to start mocking up that transmission mount. Everything looks pretty good with it, but it's going to be tight. We'll see what else we have to remove as we go. That'll be episode 3. Thanks for watching.